What is good, YouTube and Spotify? This is the Just BSN podcast. And my friends, today we have episode 123. We are 123 episodes in, my guy. And look, we got some more things to discuss besides Cavs for once.
I know, right?
The NFL free agency has begun. We've just gotten through the tampering period. So yesterday, or actually, no, was it? Yeah, yesterday was the first official day where teams could start actually signing guys and actually putting pen to paper. And today the Browns did that with a few guys. So we'll get into that here in a little bit. But before we do that, I want to go ahead, give another shout out to the sponsor. We like to do this at the beginning now so you guys can get a chance to actually hear it and know what's going on, because Greg and them, dude, they got a lot of cool things going on right now. And we might have some more things for you. Possibly next week, Andrew.
Yeah, so first and foremost, guys, check out the sponsors, Effortless Wins, for sports betting advice and plays to boost your wins. Talk to Tony or Greg. The links will be in the description on Spotify or in the comment section on YouTube. And like Zach said, in the next week or so, we might have some special things going on throughout the MLB season with the guys at Effortless Wins. So obviously stay tuned for that. But guys, baseball season is literally starting in 13 days. It's coming up fast. 13 days is the start of the MLB season, and it's going to be a lot of betting being done. You're getting close to NBA playoff time now. You're getting close to NHL playoff time and the NHL stuff. So everything is coming to fruition. And the only big sport going on besides MLS, if you're me, in the summer is MLB action. So again, guys, once NBA and NHL seasons are done, it's nothing but the MLB. So guys, now's the time to tap into Effortless Wins. And this is Greg's bread and butter is baseball. Mm-hmm. So this is definitely the time you want to tune in and tap in, because Greg can win you a lot of money in this in the summer.
Absolutely. And listen, there's nothing better than having to make a little bit of extra dough during the summertime. It's the best thing ever. And I'm telling you what, yes. These guys know what they're doing. It is a little bit of money to get into it, but I'm telling you, if you have the spare cash and you're really going to take yourself to that next level in terms of your sports betting, you really care about it, these are the guys to get through. There's a lot of scammers. There's a lot of guys that are very fake in this, industry of, sports betting. He is not one, man. He is very, very solid. He's very informative. He's helpful. He always has updates during the Discord. Dude, there's a lot of stuff that he brings. So, yes. Again, if you guys are trying to look to take this up to the next level, this is the guy to get to. So, yeah, shout out to our boy here. So, yeah, we might have him on. Who knows? I don't know when we'll do it. But here soon we'll probably have some sort of discussion and bring him on as well to kind of give him a little bit more of a chance to talk himself and really sell himself there as well. So that will be some really good times. But yes, as I said at the beginning, Browns free agency has officially begun, my friend. And the Browns were somewhat active. They weren't quite as popping at the beginning, which if you've been a Browns fan for the last 6 years, you know that's not going to happen. This is not John Dorsey. Andrew Berry does not like to pop off and make a lot of crazy trades or a lot of crazy plays on deadline time. Usually, if he's going to make a trade, it's going to be a week or two before. And that did technically happen with the Titus Howard trade, which was actually made official today. So that is good. He should be the new right tackle, considering we just released Conklin today. He is a normal cut. The other two cuts, which will be post-June cuts, will probably be Njoku. And who else am I?
Wyatt Teller.
Yes. Thank you for getting me on that little layup there.
You're good.
Yeah, so they will be the post-June cuts. So right now, the Browns have I think they have just over $1 million in cap left. Yeah. Once those post-June cuts hit, we'll have a little bit more cap room. And they still have some room to kind of do some more restructures as well. So we'll see what Barry can cook up, but for the most part, I think that the majority of free agents, at least like the bigger name ones, are done. So the Browns really went heavy on O-line. They went very, very heavy on O-line. Obviously they got Howard. They went out and signed Zion Johnson, who was a 3 or 4 year starter for the Chargers. Not the most impressive guy, but he's solid. He is reliable because he's always playing. I think he's played over 1,000 snaps last year. He's played every year. He's played almost every game. He's been in the league since 2022. So he's raw, but he's also pretty talented, and I think he has a lot of room to grow. I think it'll be a more refreshing place for him to get back to basics and really get better. So added him. Tevin Jenkins re-signed, which is going to be good. We'll see if he falls into one of the guard spots, which obviously Zion is also a guard as well. So they got a lot of guards slash middle interior linemen for this. So they also got Elton Jenkins, who was a center last year, but I believe he is originally a guard. So again, the Browns went really heavy on the interior, which I like it because it gives you options and it gives the ability to, okay, who can we put where? What do we feel comfortable with the most? And I think it's just a unique spot to be in. And we all knew that we were going to have to replace every lineman on this team. And the Browns have done just that. The only thing that we really don't know anything about yet is Petonio. He is technically a free agent, and we did have to eat about $25 million in cap because of it. So we will see if he comes back, if he retires, or if he decides to go chase a ring, which I would not doubt or would not hold that against him. But I definitely do think he is struggling to kind of decide on whether or not he wants to play for the Browns or play at all. It'll be a pretty big shock if he goes anywhere else. But for them to get another backup tight end, Jack Stahl, who played for the Eagles on the Super Bowl team just a few years ago, mostly a blocking tight end. You're really not going to see him do much. I think he has a career 246 yards receiving. He's not a receiver at all. You re-signed Bajorquez, which obviously, he's been the MVP for the last two years. He's been the best player for the Browns. So very, very smart on them to bring back their best player. And then they re-signed D'Angelo Ross, which is a corner. I guess we had him. I don't know. I don't even remember him playing that much. He probably did towards the end, if so, when everybody was hurt. But they re-signed him. We'll see what he does. He'll probably be a spec teams guy. My thing and my question to you, because we did see a report earlier that the Browns may not bring back Emerson, which is a thing that I was curious as to what they would do, because he comes off a big injury. He is, obviously off his deal. So he can walk. He can go wherever. But he has the injury, and he also just has only a few years of inconsistent play. He had one very, very good season, and beyond that, he's been up and down. You really don't know where he's going to go, but he would be a nice piece to bring back because he brings continuity. He brings depth at the corner position, but you really need a slot corner. And unfortunately, Emerson is not really a slot corner. He's more of an outside guy. So what are your thoughts on him not being here? Petonio, you're not going to see Njoku here anymore. Teller, all of these guys that have been a big piece of this team for the last 7 seasons or more, we're starting to lose them, man. And it's very bittersweet for me, at least.
No, it is bittersweet because, like you said, some of these guys like Njoku, Teller, Betonio, these guys have been rocking with us for almost a decade now. And it's kind of sad to see them go. But you do what you got to do to make the team stronger and better. Teller is getting ready to retire in the next year or two. So he's probably wanting to go somewhere where he has an opportunity to win. Njoku, still probably a top 10 tight end in the NFL, will definitely go somewhere where he could have a possibility of being a consistent playoff guy and helping a bigger team. And, we don't know the word on Joe Petonio because the Browns have extended his stuff to where he can make a decision and sit and talk with his family. I know, and I don't know if you heard this or not, but Joe Thomas spoke with Joel Bitonio.
I did see that.
Yeah, saying that, listen, if I'm you, I would keep going until you can no more, because once you stop, you're legit done. Like, there's no coming back, especially if you're an offensive lineman. There's just no coming back, and because it's so hard to. It's super hard to come back after you retired, unless you've retired for like maybe a season and stay consistent working out. But when you're retired for like a year, maybe two, you're not coming back. So he's got a lot to think about. I would love for him to stay for another year, because I think he'd be a great teacher to a lot of these younger guys we just picked up in free agency, and teach these guys. And I don't mind some of these signings that we have. Yeah, we went and tackled a lot of guards and centers, but you had to. You had to get all these guys. And you know, I'm not one for PFF grades. I think PFF grades
Yes. Thank
are
you.
like, people use them as a gospel. I don't use them as gospel, because the grades, they miss out on so much. They miss out on humanity stuff like coaching, schemes, different plays where they was the rush on their side, whatever. So those grades are very in a gray cloud. Like, you have to take them super lightly, because again, there's a dispute going on right now about Zion Johnson, who we picked up, because they're like, well, according to PFF, he's a terrible pass blocker, but according to ESPN and people who work at ESPN, he's a great run block or a great pass blocker. So like, there's a dispute, like, was he a great pass blocker or is he not? PFF says he sucks.
Right.
ESPN says he's excellent. And then, no one knows who to listen to. I would say at these points, I would listen to more like, if there's like a guy like Jeff Saturday or something, a guy who's like an offensive line expert. Like, I would rather listen to a guy like him being like, listen, I saw him play. He's a really good pass blocker. That's the guy I'm listening to, because he's played the position. He knows what he's talking about.
Yes,
I'm not listening to some random nerd at PFF who's never played a down of football in his life and just knows how to code and sits there and goes, well, I think he sucks and he deserves like a 75 out of 85, how many guards there are in the NFL. Like, what do you know about ball? Like, you don't know. And this doesn't account for schemes and plays and anything else. It just accounts for, well, did he let a guy run by him or not?
So, yeah, I mean, dude, I'm telling you what, and I do agree, but like, this even goes back to like my high school days when I was playing. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, I wasn't anything crazy. Okay. I was a 5'9" guard / tackle in high school. I didn't have size and have any of that, but grading linemen, I think, is one of the hardest things to like purely grade. And it's also one of the most deceiving grades that you could get.
Yeah.
Because there's really a lot that you got to take into what they're being graded for, and some is a little bit harsher than others. And from what I have understood about Zion Johnson's scenario, he also played beside probably one of the worst centers in the entire league, blocking wise. He also had a bunch of backup tackles that he had to also play next to. So again, the only thing that I've heard that he tends to struggle with a little bit is having to work against lineman stunts. But if you have good players beside you to help communicate with you as linemen, it becomes easier. So again, when you have a guy, if he's going to be your left guard, and let's say we either have a rookie or you have a Titus Jones, Howard, or even if you have DeJuan there, if DeJuan ends up playing your left tackle, so be it. You should probably still take a rookie anyway. Yeah. Especially if you won't sign one, which you still have the chance to sign one. It's just I don't know how the cap is going to work with that. But there are some out there. But it just depends on where he's at. And in my opinion, you have to take into consideration again the scenarios that these guys played in, the people that he played next to, the type of offense that they ran. I mean, the Chargers, for a while, they weren't running the ball because they didn't have their rookie. They didn't have the guy that they were supposed to run the ball with 20 plus times a game.
Mm-hmm.
And that tends to have a big effect on your run game. And then at one point, Herbert started getting hot and they started having to pass the ball 40 times a game, because that's been Herbert's life since he's been in the NFL. He's been a pass first guy all the time because the Chargers have never had a good run game, even with Harbaugh now. So it was just a weird scenario. They had a lot going against them there. So it's a chance for him to get back. It's the same thing with Elton Jenkins. They moved him over to the center position. He was a guard. He came off an injury, and then just a bunch of different things that led to him there. But even like John Johnson, originally he was a tackle that came out of college, and then they moved him to guard, which happens a lot. I mean, Becton, that dude was one of the top tackle profiled guys coming out of college for a long, long time. Like, Becton was a highly profiled tackle, and after a few years, he started getting hurt, and he just had a lot of rough runs. They moved him into guard when he came to the Eagles, and he became a part of that, just five-headed monster of an offensive line that they had for that Super Bowl run. It's like guys have a chance to do that, and you might even be able to see that with like DeJuan Jones. Who knows what they really try to do. But I think they gave themselves enough flexibility to move some guys around. You still have Jenkins that comes back. He can play guard. He can also play tackle. He can probably even play center as well. You still have Whippler. You could technically bring back Ethan Pobochitz if you really want to. I don't really see that happening unless they just want to keep him for depth. But even then, he's going to be hurt, so it's not really like he's going to be able to play. But the Browns did what they said they were going to do. AB said they were not going to spend a lot of money, but that they were going to spend money in the offensive line and really the interior line. And that's exactly what they did. So, you know what? I'll give them a check. I'll say, hey, thank you. You at least checked off the boxes that you wanted to check. Now, did you get all of the guys that you wanted to get? Probably not. But the market for some of these guys was nuts. Linderbaum got a huge, huge deal. 3 years, $81 million. That is a big, big deal for a center. Huge. But the biggest one and the worst one was Alex Pierce, man. Holy crap. 4 years, $114 million. The wide receiver market is so bad, and this is what I'm going to get into next. That just makes me think the Browns are going receiver at 6, because you are not getting anything quality for a good price in the veteran market right now. Everybody else has been gone. If you want to trade for somebody, it's still, again, it's not going to be a super huge trade unless it's like a Marvin Harrison, a Chris Olave, somewhere in that department. And even then, you're probably going to have to give up one of your firsts to do so. Now, if that happens, then okay, you go tackle. But I think that the Browns ultimately, and I think the smartest way to go would just at 6, if Tate is there, if Tyson, if whoever you end up falling in love with is there, you take him. And then if you feel like you got to move back, fine. But I'm telling you what, if you have a chance to get the top receiver in this draft, you have to go get them. It's the cheapest way to go. It's the smartest way to go. And it will give you the most versatility for the next 3 seasons, at least 3 to 4 seasons. Okay. So the Browns have to be smart. What will ultimately probably happen is the Browns probably trade back like they always freaking do. So I just wanted to get your take, because this is just my opinion on the whole getting a receiver first. I know you have been kind of in more of the getting a tackle first, but just based on the market and the way things are going, I feel like you can still get a quality tackle later on at that 24th pick if you keep it.
I'm more receiver first, because I've always said it doesn't matter what you do with those 2 first-round picks, as long as you draft either a tackle first or receiver first, and vice versa with the other pick. So I've always been receiver first because I can't stand to watch Jerry Jeudy another year being the number 1. I don't mind him being number 2, not number 1.
Yeah.
So I would always say first pick always. I would go for the biggest and best wide receiver you can get, whether that be Jordan Tyson, whether that be Carnell Tate, whoever. And then with the 24th pick, I would pray to God you can get like a Spencer Fanu or whoever.
Yeah.
One of the better tackles in the draft. So, you know, for me, that's always the biggest key is wide receiver first and then tackle. Or again, vice versa, tackle first and then wide receiver. As long as you get one or the other with either, I could care less. Just give me the best of the best. Now I wouldn't mind like, you know, maybe getting a little aggressive. And if you can get, again, like I said, like a Chris Olave or like a Marvin Harrison in free agency, hey, even better. Because then you'd have a true number 1. You have a good number 2. And I don't mind Isaiah Bond being a number 3.
No, I don't.
Because he's a very good deep ball threat. So him and Shedeur Sanders, Isaiah Bond and Sanders did start building a really good connection towards the end of the season on some deep ball. So I think they're starting to build a nice little rapport there. But yeah, when it comes to the draft, I mean, I would love a wide receiver first. Again, give me Carnell Tate, give me Jordan Tyson, whoever, and then give me the best tackle available at 24. Yeah. And I don't mind if you continue that way for the draft, continue to get receiver, tackle, whatever, because those are, for me, are the biggest positions of need is tackle and wide receiver. Defense, you could continue to build up defense if you want to. That's not the route you really need to go because the defense is already stacked. Yeah. Now, if you go defense, I think you can go out and get like a Joey Bosa for cheap. Like Joey Bosa has just turned 31 in like a month or something. Like Joey Bosa is only going to be 31. Yeah, he's injuries and stuff like that, but pairing him and Myles Garrett on the edges would be great. So if you could always go down the cheap route with all that, and hell, you can maybe even put Emerson in one of the, you know, one of those things, in one of those like little deals or something,
right?
Or put him in a deal for someone, whatever you do. So the draft is key coming up, and that's only a month away.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're only a month away from the NFL draft, by the way, people. Like, it's coming up quick.
I know. That's why this is like my favorite time of the year because it kind of is that build up. You know, you start with this, you see where the team decided to go, and then okay, this is where they should lead. That being said, if the Browns decide to like trade back and then they go out, or they just stay at 6 and let's say they take Jeremiah Love or something, I might throw my phone through a telephone screen. Like I'm not kidding you one bit. It would be the stupidest pick because yes, is Jeremiah Love a great pick? Sure. But it's not really like needed at all. Like it doesn't help move the needle really at all.
No, you already have Samson and Judkins. You don't need Jeremiah Love.
And you can still get a quality, you know, running back day 3, just like you did with Dylan Sampson, and just continue to do that until you hit on another one. But you have to go receiver first or tackle, and then you have to follow up with said other one. And then if you want to go corner at like pick 39 or that sort of third or fourth round pick, that's fine because that's where you're going to find the slot. But then you also got to worry about, hey, do we want to get another tackle? Do you want to get another guard? Do you want to get another center? It just ultimately depends on how they sort of feel the draft moving. They could end up getting another tight end if they want to get another receiving tight end, which would kind of make sense, I guess, because you don't have a Njoku. But you need a tight end that's also going to be able to run block a little bit too, because you really don't want to have to put Fannin in that spot to really do that. You want him out wide, you want him in the slot, you want him on the the outside. You want him to be able to make plays receiving. That's where he runs best. So the Browns, they obviously have options, but they have to go in with a plan. They have to have a top 3 guys of, okay, where are we going to be comfortable taking certain guys? Um, and just having a plan for each of the top positions of need that they really, really need and move on with that. Um, if you're not sure, then that's when you trade back. But still, if you're trading back, you're either getting back into the first round again for a 3rd pick, or you're getting a first round pick next year. Like, that's the only way that you make a trade like that. 100%. You're not trading back to get a 2nd round pick this year and then a 4th next year or something. That's not worth it to me. Not if you're gonna move back from 6 to like 8 or 10 or 12 or whatever. Because if you do that, you can still get a quality receiver at that spot. Like, it can happen. So again, they have options. They just gotta be smart. They can't overthink this, man. They overthink it so much. We all have said this before about Barry. He has to be the smartest man in the room. Please don't. Just be the guy that listens to a guy like Monken who says, hey, I want to get the best receiver at pick 6, or I want us to lock down the tackle position, and then we can go get our receiver, and then we can do it again next year. Like, at least have the plan, at least have the motion. And as long as they do that, we will actually be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah. Who's the scout for the Browns that was a former player for us?
Oh, I want to say
I forget who it is. I can
want to
picture
say
him.
it's DeQuell Jackson. I think.
Yeah, it's DeQuell Jackson. He's because if you're gonna listen to anyone, I would listen to the
former player. Yeah.
Yeah, I would listen to not only just a former player, but I would listen to the football guys, like you said, Todd Monken, DeQuell Jackson. Like, I'm listening to these guys who are good football minds. You don't have to be the smartest guy in the room. Just listen to the football guys. Like, it's that simple. They'll tell you what you need and who to get. Now you don't have the burden of, listening to the guy who just went to Colorado anymore.
Right.
You don't have to listen to him anymore. The only worrying is JW getting in the way again. That's the only worry is JW's sister and goes, I think we should draft Jeremiah Love, or we should draft some random defensive end or whatever. Like, that's the only issue that I'm going to run into. But, I would listen to the football guys in a room and ignore everyone else.
So I am on the website, like, trying to look for it. I don't see him specifically because I'm looking at college scouting. The director of college scouting is Max Paulus. I don't know who he is. None of the national scouts ring a bell. Pro scouting. There's only 2 of them. Player personnel. Glenn Cook is
I just Googled it. It's DeQuell Jackson. The Browns hired former star linebacker DeQuell Jackson as a full-time pro scout in June 2024, bringing the team's top tackler from 99 to 2013.
Yeah, I don't see him on the thing, which is interesting.
Yeah, it says role pro scout 2024 to present. So
I don't know if he's not on here. That makes no sense.
Yeah. So, DeQuell Jackson is the pro scout for the Browns.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, you can physically look at every single piece of personnel that works for the Browns in any department. Like, you can even look at the maintenance people and their names. Like, that's wild.
Who's cleaning the toilets? I got a personal problem with you.
Right, for real. Marketing, the Cleveland Browns Foundation. Yeah, they got a lot of stuff here. That's actually kind of cool. They have their own legal team, obviously, which I think every football team does.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I would love to work for their communications department. That'd be fun. But yeah, I don't know why I don't see, because it only shows 2 pro scouting names, and it's Greg Livingston and then Alice Sullivan. And there's obviously nobody Let's see. So I don't know why he's not on there. Glenn Cook is right there. I don't see him. I don't know why.
It's weird.
But either way, you bring in a former player that can give you the insight of like, hey, like he can actually recognize how people play. He can recognize how they study, and it's stuff like that is important. It's very very important. So it's smart for them to do that. But
1,000%.
again, I'm also kind of just beating a dead horse here when I say like the Browns do have options. They have the ability to really make a difference in this draft, and we've been saying this for a while. The Browns have an opportunity to really turn a leaf and really get this team back to at least playing some better ball. I mean, do I expect them to win 9 games? No, but if they can get to that like 6, 7, maybe 8 games, it's at least formidable. It's at least okay. There's a step in the right direction. You're not tanking. You're not trying to lose. You're just not quite there yet. You need one more draft. You need to get out of a lot of cap, which you will eventually. Like Deshaun Watson will be off the books officially by 2028, which I know sounds like it's very far away. It's 2 more years. But the big thing is after this year, you won't at least have to worry about him being on the field unless Andrew Berry decides, we might as well just have him stay here for the last 2 years if he's getting paid. He might as well just be on the team. So I doubt that will happen. The only way that ever happens, and this would actually be a good thing, is if Watson actually like balls out this year, which is very unlikely, but I have been throwing that out there, being like, just imagine if he does, like, what do you do? Because he's so injury prone. But if Deshaun Watson gets you 10 wins randomly, I mean, I don't know, that puts you in a very unique spot, doesn't it? Like
it does, yeah.
Because it's like, man, you really hate him, but I mean, if he can win you 10 games with Monken, then it would just further prove that Stefanski would suck. And that, dude, I'm telling you, something like that would be the biggest kick in the nuts for Stefanski. Just as like okay, this was really the problem. It would be awful.
Yeah.
It would be awful. Again, I'm not necessarily rooting for that, guys. I'm just like throwing out a lot of hypotheticals because that's what I do. Like my brain goes there all of the time, and it's really really fun. Actually,
I love doing it.
It keeps things spicy. That's for sure. But yeah, man. I guess we could talk a little bit of cash here before we get off here. I know we're at 32 minutes. We're trying to keep the episodes no more than like 40, 45 minutes now because lately you guys have actually been killing it. So shout out to you guys that have been able to like actually watch the episodes.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing better. The views are going up. So we really do appreciate that. And we're seeing, having shorter, episodes, they do help. So we're going to continue to try to do that. But yeah, the Cavs lost last night to the Magic. Unfortunately, it was a pretty back and forth game for the most part. And then the Magic kind of went on like a weird run that kind of got them up to like 11 points. And then the Cavs battled back towards the end. Really made it like a 2 or 3 point game and then just kind of too little too late. But the main thing with the Cavs last night is they just kind of got outgot. The Magic just had it. They were a little bit more in tuned on the their offense was pretty solid. Although they didn't necessarily shoot the ball better than us, it felt like they did. I mean, every single time you needed the Cavs to get a stop, the Magic would make a 3. Desmond Bain killed us last night. Ben Kiro killed us last night. De Silva killed us last night. Like just random guys besides Kiro, which I'm not saying Bain is a random because he's been pretty freaking good the last like month and a half, especially, but he's been good all season for them. But the last month or so, he's actually been on a tear. It just seemed like every time the Cavs got close and back into the game, the Magic were able to stretch the lead back out to 5. And it just kind of would go back and forth between that, back and forth, back and forth. They really missed Jared on last night, I think.
Yeah, they do. And, I saw something the other day about what Jared Allen does so well on the offensive side that once James Harden came in, the slip screens from Jared Allen have been immaculate, leading to easy buckets for either Allen or leaving wide open threes for guys like Merrill or Donovan or whoever. So that's important because Evan Mobley has actually not been good at doing the slip screens. He's been really bad at them. And what happens is he ends up getting the ball outside the arc, and he hasn't been shooting the ball well since his calf injury. And I think the calf has really a lot to do with his messed up him not shooting threes well, his free throws, because again, a lot of the leg muscles are required to shoot a good basket. And when you're damaged your calf, you don't have a lot of strength in it. It's hard to make buckets. So I'm sure that's kind of weighing him down just a little bit in the shooting aspect. But I mean, that's when you start using the slip screens as easy ways to get to the paint for easy dunks and layups. And he's just not been good at it. Where that's been Allen's bread and butter. And so that's the thing you're missing a lot with Jared Allen is those easy little slip screens that either frees up Allen for an easy dunk, or if he draws that outside defender in, you got Sam Money Merrill out in the corner ready to bang a three, or Donovan Mitchell ready to hit open three, or whoever's out there.
Yeah.
The thing that's pressing me the most is you have 4 starters with double-digit points. You had Merrill with 13, Mobley with 18, Mitchell with 25, and Harden with 30. Dean Wade had nothing, 0 points. He had 5 assists or 5 rebounds, and that was it. He took 2 total shots, and didn't do much of anything on defense either, besides having 1 singular block. So, to me, having Dean Wade out there, especially starting, is just kind of useless at this point.
It's becoming a freaking liability, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, you have Jalen Tyson, who, only had 4 points in 18 minutes, but he provides a lot on defense. He provides hustle. And when he does start, he's averaging like 16 points, 15, 16 points a game when he is starting. I'd rather start Jalen Tyson over Dean Wade at this point, or until you get Max Strus back. And Max Strus can play a more routine role again when I think there's like 16 games left. It's like with Jason Tatum right now, and Jason Tatum's not playing tonight due to injury management. So you play him a couple games, rest him. Play him a couple games, rest him. And then once you get towards the playoffs, Max Strus is like, hey, I could play more minutes. I could play 30 comfortably with no issues.
Yep.
Perfect. He's a main starter now. But up until that point, I would love to see more Jalen Tyson as a starter over Dean. I think once Max Strus comes back, I think you'll see a more obviously Strus elevated with Tyson. I think you see Dean Wade more like relegated to not really playing, sitting there with like the Larry Nance Juniors and whatever, kind of like not having much of a role because Dean Wade doesn't offer you much. Yeah, he's good at defensive rebounds, but that's about it. But then you have Jared Allen and Mobley there for the rebounds. You don't need Dean Wade out there because what does Dean Wade provide for you offensively? A missed bucket when he's wide open. Oh boy, I love missed open jumpers. That's my favorite. So at least those threes that Dean Wade misses, Tyson will make. So I think Atkinson needs to sit down and rethink the drawing board of when I get Strus back, I should probably move Strus to like 15 minutes, give Tyson like 25.
Yeah.
And then give Dean Wade 5 or 10. Like relegate Dean Wade deep into the bench and be like, sorry, dude, but like you're not it. You're not doing anything right now. I'd rather have Isaac Okoro to do nothing, and he's a really elite defender.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I've been saying this for years now. I'm tired of the Dean Wade experiment.
We've been saying it since day one on this podcast.
Like, when his name was brought up in trades and stuff, like during the deadline, I was like, please let him go. Like, please let him go. I'm tired of him. He's still freaking here. Hopefully this year is his last year
I think
because
he's gone once
it
this
makes
offseason's over.
it makes way for having a guy like Tyson to play because dude, Thomas Bryant, his minutes are so much more productive than Dean Wade's ever could be. And
Thomas
like
Bryant
if
had
you
15 points.
like and him and Mobley have a pretty good net rating apparently. Like they have a
They have
really
an
good
insane
offense.
net rating.
They
Yeah.
have an insane net rating. So like when Mobley has another big man, with him, it helps a lot.
I think
Dean
it's like a
Wade,
plus 25 net rating with Thomas Bryant. I think it's like a plus like 60 rating with Jared Allen.
yeah, it's
And
something
then
stupid.
with Dean Wade, it's like a negative 30 or something.
Well, it's because Dean Wade doesn't rebound either. Like it's so weird. Like at 6'10", you would think you would be a good rebounder. He's useless. Like you can put out. You could have gotten Kevin Love back instead of having Dean Wade, and I think you would have been in a better spot. Like truly, um, it's just wild how inconsistent he is. And another guy that struggled quite a bit as of late is Schroeder. Schroeder has his minutes have been brutal lately. The last 4 or 5 games, I don't think he scored a point in the last 4 or 5 games, dude. It's been bad. He's been struggling.
I can take a look.
Yeah, he's been struggling lately.
But that's gonna happen.
It is.
I'm not really worried about Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah.
So as of late, he had 0 points against Orlando. He had 5 against Philly. He had 2 against Boston, but then before that, he had 15, 12, 12, 26. But a lot of those games he had elevated minutes and he was starting. So again, it's another one of those things. I think it's just because Sam Merrill's taken over like that third guard role, and it kind of limited Schroeder. And obviously, the injury didn't help Schroeder either because I know Schroeder had that small nagging injury a little bit after the.
He sprained his ankle, I think.
Yeah, it was during one of the games when he first got here. I think it was the Knicks game or something. But yeah, Schroeder, like I don't like Schroeder on the bench. But here's my thing. It's not like Schroeder starting and putting up nothing.
Right.
He's coming off the bench putting up nothing, which is I'd rather him coming off the bench average 5 assists and put up nothing than Dean Wade getting 3 rebounds and 0 points starting.
Yeah.
And we're sitting here like, oh my God, like, it makes like I'd rather have a guy who can get 5 to 7 assists instead of 3 to 4 rebounds and no points, because the guy who gave you 3 to 4 rebounds, those could have gone to Tyson or Mobley, and they would have been more productive. Or Thomas Bryant. Thomas Bryant had as many rebounds off the bench as Dean Wade did, and had 13 more points.
Yeah, that's true.
So at that point, just start Thomas Bryant until Jared Allen comes back.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it certainly doesn't make sense, but again, there's just guys that are playing better ball and they're giving minutes to the wrong guys, and I think Atkinson is really just trying to find some guys to throw in still, which is fine. I mean, I guess you would rather want to do that now than do it later. But for me, like again, I'm just trying to move on from the Dean Wade experiment. He is so bad. He's so brutal to watch. He has one good game out of like 15, and it's just I'd rather just deal with having other guys struggle than watching him even miss corner threes, which is the only thing anytime he does shoot that he could technically and should technically make. So yeah, the Cavs just got outplayed, man. It sucks, but the good thing is you should be getting Jared Allen probably tomorrow, if not this weekend. And then the other good news is you might be getting Max Strus on Sunday. And if that's the case, I mean that's another fun chance for this Cavs team to finally get in full health. I mean, God, could you imagine finally getting Strus after this whole season?
Nice. It's gonna be nice.
It's been a long season without him, but they've been doing fine without him. It's because guys have really stepped up. But having him, especially being able to get like the next month or so to get his feet under him and getting used to play again, and then getting into the playoffs, I think would just be perfect. And if guys continue to not really like show up, then you put him at your small forward as your starter, and you let it ride because he can shoot, he can defend, and he's fiery. I mean, he's a fun guy to have, and we saw it, especially last year in that playoff run. You saw his fire, and he was the only guy in that Pacers, series besides Donovan that was reliable until the last game. So, again, what you bring when it comes to him. So it'll be nice. But Jalen Tyson needs 20, 25 minutes a night. I'm serious. Like, even through the playoffs, 20, 25 minutes a night minimum. He is just too good, too valuable, and I think he plays off of everybody the best. And that's what you need the most. So, yeah. I don't know, man. That's pretty much all that I got. I don't really got too much more.
No, I don't either.
Cavs and Browns, it was a more fun week for sure. Again, we got the Cavs tomorrow against the Mavericks. We got MAC action going on right now. Championship week, weekend is going on in college ball, so we're getting closer and closer to March Madness, guys. Closer and closer. And I know we really don't get too big on March Madness, but we'll probably talk a little bit about it as it continues to progress a little bit more. So be on the lookout for that. And of course, we got baseball around the corner soon. So we're going to have more and more stuff. The draft is in a month. Lots to be excited about and lots more to discuss. So that is going to do it for us, guys. We will see y'all next week with whatever ends up popping up in the sports world. Till then, we'll see you guys next time.